Hi, everybody, and welcome to Watches Galore. Hey, I have a really interesting video for you today. It's a friend of mine I met through another friend of mine, and he has a really awesome Hamilton collection. This guy is very knowledgeable on Hamilton watches, pocket watches, wrist watches, military watches, and marine things that Hamilton had began with. So I'm going to show you this vid. I'm not going to tell you his name, but he sells some stuff on eBay. I'll put his eBay seller name in the description below. Maybe you want to check that out. And yeah, I hope you like it. It's pretty cool. I'm going to show it to you uncut from start to finish. And, I hope you enjoy it. So take care and stay well. Wow. So what's the story behind the Ventura?
The Ventura was introduced to the public in January 3rd, 1957 in yellow gold, and a few years later it came out with a white gold version and an 18 karat version in Europe only. And Richard Arbib, who worked as a designer for some of the automobile companies, Cadillac, Chrysler, he designed some of the eccentric watch cases.
Wow.
As a freelance designer with Hamilton into the early 60s. And
Wow, you don't see that digital one often either.
no, I just got that this past Saturday. It had, at Hess Auction
Yeah.
at Mannheim. They had a huge watch sale. And now some of this is military, some of it's prototype stuff. This piece here is one of one.
The one on the right there?
That big one.
One of one?
That is the only one they ever made.
Oh my word.
And yeah, special stuff.
That is awesome.
Yeah, that's a 4992B 16 size movement in a 37 size case, and I actually have the blueprints with it. And they made 250 pieces of one in World War I in the same type case, but it had a sub-second at the 6 o'clock. I'd love to find the matchmate to this one, but I'm glad I got this one because it's the only one.
Yeah, I saw a public auction a couple of weeks ago down in, oh man, it was up above Harrisburg. I'm sorry. The guy had hundreds of these, and I
Wow.
remember seeing something similar to that, but
No
not
kidding.
not that one, of course, if it's one of one. Wow.
And this, then, they had it like experimental and things of that nature. This what came from the same gentleman I got this, one of three.
the
Yeah, usually they had a serial number, and when he brought these watches out onto the table, this is just like 3 or 4 years ago. I about fell over when I saw that one, because I I recognized the case. But one of the chronographs is one of three, because it says sample number 50 on it.
that
And I
is-
have the blueprints with that too.
that's incredible.
It was.
Incredible history.
So all this stuff that you see there is all military.
Okay.
Now this is one of five. It was a test piece for the Naval Observatory.
Awesome.
And my friend in Nebraska, he's a huge collector. He makes mine look like small.
Yeah.
Yeah. And he sold me that. He had duplicates of it.
So you're pretty much into the vintage stuff.
Now that's Bathurst.
Yeah, I see that.
That's from Hawaii. I picked up that one a few months ago because it was 125 chronometers. And I was showing that to Jim, and he, I think, was drooling.
Yeah, that's really, really cool. Really cool.
Yeah, that's a certified chronometer, and
Wow.
some of the knick-knack advertising, the little tie bars back there with the H on. Those were like for award, like 20, 25, 30, up to that gentleman I knew, Mr. Remley. He had got one for 45 years.
Wow.
That's the only one I've ever seen.
I work with a guy. His dad was a he would work in Hamilton and repair the returns. They would return the
Service,
stuff.
yeah.
Yep. And he'd do that, and then he'd send them back out again. And believe it or not, they gave him a Omega Moon watch for his years of service.
That's a nice gift.
Yeah, really.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Some of these in the bottom, that big one back in the back of the 85 size is the Marine Chronometer,
Okay.
which was the world famous. That's their most famous timepiece they ever had.
Yep.
And I actually have 2 of those for sale.
Interesting.
That one that's sitting, I have the box. That sold, and it came back. It got knocked around in shipping, $4,000 worth.
Oh no. Well, that's what they were known for. Mm-hmm. That's like the original thing they started out with, right?
Yep, that was the famous Marine Chronometer. The small ones there in the gimbaled and non-gimbaled, those are the chronometer watches, the Model 22. And if you need me to take anything out, let me know so you can.
Oh, I'm enjoying this. I mean,
That thing that you see, the cutaway to your left there on that little wooden stand, is actually the end of a missile.
wow.
That was made at Hamilton. That's a cutaway. That was in one of the executives' desks that worked at Hamilton.
Awesome.
Yeah. And then that big one on the left, that's a cutaway too. That was during the Gulf War.
Really?
Yeah. Had all the tags on it yet, and this and that. Just stuff I picked up.
That is awesome. I'm gonna put this.
Doing a place where you can have a better back room.
Yeah. And this is for sale. This one.
This one is not at the moment because I want to convert it.
Okay.
That's 22 jewel, which that was a high grade watch in World War II.
That is so awesome.
Yeah, they are, aren't they?
Just to watch it, and I'm actually surprised that's the original back.
Usually they have a metal back
Yeah.
with an engraving on, with the contract number, serial number. But this one, since it didn't go into the service because it's lacking here, but it was made in 1944. Now, since it didn't go, that's why it has somebody just put this.
Okay.
Had a display back.
Okay. That is so neat.
But that's okay.
Yeah.
You
Absolutely.
know, I have the ledger sheet that goes with that, and I'm going to put a black 24-hour dial on it and change the hour minute wheel, which will convert it from 12-hour to 24,
Nice.
and I'll be set.
Nice.
Yeah.
So could you give me the history on that again?
Yeah, Mr. Fred Kohler, immigrant from Germany, started, I can't recall the exact year he started, but in the 1950 on, they were working on the electric watch project. They wanted to be the first to have an electric watch with a battery-powered magnetic watch. So he was diligent working on the EM, electromagnetic movements, and was working on clocks, and he made a few variations. This was the first, one of 3. This is serial number 2 on the back of the dial. And
Incredible.
he handmade every part of that watch on his bench.
Incredible.
He was a genius. He was very solitary and liked to work alone. He worked well with people, but he wanted to work and have his own space so he could concentrate. And if it wouldn't have been for him, I don't think Hamilton would have ever had an electric watch in 1957.
Awesome. Thank you.
Mounted to in the fighter planes. They were called bomb timers.
In the cockpit?
for practice bombing.
Wow.
Bombardier bomb timers. Very rare to find those. And I was fortunate enough to get two.
Incredible. That is awesome.
Has a little plunger. The one on the left has that little pin sticking out the left side.
Yeah.
That's to reset the watch. A little spring in there presses on the index wheel to start and stop the watch, to synchronize, when they're doing the practice bombing on the bombardiers.
Awesome.
Just neat history.
That is awesome
You know.
history.
Yeah.
That is awesome history.
That pocket watch there, that's one from 1893, the year after Hamilton was started.
That's beautiful.
It is. And, that's the only one I've ever had. It was a special watch. That came from the gentleman that worked there for 48 years. Wow. Mm-hmm.